Now, it's no secret that I dislike Rev. I personally find his content disingenuous, biased, and only serves to profit off a specific mindset, especially with his misinformed views on trans people, with him perpetuating the false grooming narrative that was based on a debunked social contagion theory. And given the mentality he supports along with the views of his audience, I don't believe this guy cares about facts all that much, because it's all about money at the end of the day, because the grifter's morals aren't determined by their wisdom or intellect, but the state of their bank account. Also, the video he tried to paint as grooming was actually a video of a trans person talking about their experience.
And also proving you're trans enough to be approved. I'm glad I just pushed through it, but it feels like my entire life was on like pause for like 3-4 years because I was dealing with like just getting started on HRT. For me, changing my legal name and my gender, I had to go to court. I had to go to like therapists and get like an evaluation of my case and to like prove that I'm like trans and I don't have like schizophrenia and whatnot. I had to reveal everything about my life, and it was like incredibly exhausting. Different about me. Did not know about transgender people and what it means until I was like 19. I never had a word to describe what I felt. Like I used to be in this position. That's why I do what I do. I know what it feels like to just like isolate yourself, to not have any joy. And especially as a kid. And then these people are like, leave the kids alone. Oh, if you didn't talk to children about these things, then nobody would come after your rights. Showing kids that trans people exist is not going to turn cis kids trans. But a trans kid is going to feel seen and can be included, and they know what to do to like help with like dysphoria and whatnot. 98% of like surgeries, gender affirming surgeries performed on minors are performed on cis boys with gynecomastia.
Proving trans kids do exist and should get gender affirming care, in which there is data to back it up. I will link it in the description along with data and research that clears up misinformation about trans people. And the tweet he called a light novel was literally a trans person explaining their experience, with their only mistake being using a term that could easily be misrepresented by people outside the trans community. The person made a whole video replying to the situation. You can check it out yourself.
Give me some of that plankton penis tomorrow. Sexy ass nigga. Look at you looking all cute. Wearing my shit. Sponge boy me bob. With Mr. Plankton up here, a nice juicy Krabby Patty with a special Krabby sauce.
Okay, now that my anti-reverence is over, it's time to get into meat and potatoes of this video. That's right, contrary to the title and thumbnail, this video isn't about Rev. He only serves as a jumping off point to what I actually want to talk about, which is how culture war grifters work. For context, I commented on a terribly made video about a guy posing as a grifter, or what a politically brain-rotted person thinks a grifter is, and I decided to make a video based on that comment. For this video, I'm defining culture war grifter as an individual or group of individuals who profit off culture war topics by spreading dishonest narratives through outrage, bias, misleading, or disingenuous posts. Now, they don't necessarily have to be political or have political leanings to fit this definition. Their contents have to cater to an audience by spreading bias, misleading, or dishonest narratives as factual truth. Basically, Fox News for Zoomers. I would also like to reiterate that I'm not a political or drama channel. This is an On My Mind channel where I yap about things on my mind and try to remain as neutral as possible when it comes to certain topics. I'm simply reporting patterns I've noticed with this genre of content. So here's how they work. First, they pick a niche, typically within nerd communities like media analysis, gaming commentary, anime, or anime adjacent communities like Vtubers. Now, this is for obvious reasons. It's not only to capitalize off the negativity of the cultural shift, stunting community growth, and the gatekeeping nature of nerd communities, but it's also because nerds are easy to manipulate. Because, I'm sorry, you niggas were fine with $100 for a video, and also community toxicity. Next is disguise yourself as a non-political or narratively neutral figure. This is to give the illusion of nuance and objectivity to trick an already biased or ignorant audience into seeing you as a credible source. Denying your biases not only fuels your own ego, but also the ego of your audiences by making them feel smart. Next is to selectively cover drama within a niche, specifically cancellations, especially cancellations, as this not only poisons the well, but also pushes you closer to your audience. One thing you'll notice with these channels is how often they imply censorship or use phrasing to imply their niche or group is being attacked, hence the use of words like tourist, anti, or Twitter freak to describe people with opposing opinions, similar to how another part of the internet will call you names for the same reasons. This serves as a form of othering to promote tribalism and an us versus them mindset, making your audience feel cornered and more likely to support you. And lastly, which is the most important one, is be subtle. Where most grifters succeed is by blending in with traditionally non-political communities by being subtle with their stances and letting their audience find them by filling in the blanks. The number one rule is be direct but open to plausible deniability. Where did I say my position is this? Where did I say this is my stance? I'm just a guy reporting the news, and we all know reporters don't have biases. They don't benefit from painting exaggerated narratives, especially on social media where tribalism and groupthink is a net positive for businesses, where negativity is rewarded and the current economy incentivizes people to make slop for potential profit. Especially in an era where media literacy is ashes, critical thinking is a corpse, and division is the word of the decade, there's zero chance someone will take advantage of that, especially a content creator who lives off the blind loyalty of their audiences. If you can convince the lowest white man he's better than the best colored man, he won't notice you're picking his pocket. Hell, Give him someone to look down on and he'll empty his pockets for you. That quote was in reference to the Southern strategy where politicians divided his people by creating false narratives and scapegoats to gain support, basically taking advantage of their ignorance. And this tactic was so effective that it's still used to this day. The slandering of trans people, wokeness, DEI, left versus right, cancel culture, gender wars, politicizing basic shit that somehow led us all being into politics. I mean, the only difference is that the internet made it easier for normal people to profit off of the strategy, and it worked. So congratulations everyone for being retarded. Like seriously, the solutions aren't hard to practice. To combat cultural grifters is pretty simple. Think critically, fact check, don't be a meat writer, and ask questions. You know, the fucking Socratic method. I also recommend getting the media bias fact checker extension. But yeah, bye.
Someone said in chat, doesn't matter who is right, we'll still wall slam you both.